Hi, I'm Luke Stanton. I'm a UC specialist here at Welcome. And in this session, we're going to talk about business messaging, or put simply, texting. Texting is a really effective and efficient way to communicate with people en masse, either staff or customers, because on average, texts are opened in under 5 seconds and have a 98% read rate. They also have an average response time of just 90 seconds, and compare that to an email, which has an average response time of 90 minutes and only a 20% read rate. In my experience, businesses either tend not to use texting as a way to communicate with customers, perhaps it's seen as too informal, or businesses that do text generally only use texting internally via a mobile handset, which isn't the most efficient method when communicating with multiple people. Now, we can provide texting as a service and manage it via a web browser to take advantage of those read rates and communicate our message to our staff and customers in a powerful and professional manner, whether it be a promotional message or an appointment reminder to our customers, or simply an internal communication to all of our remote staff. The business messaging portal is split into three areas: communicate, where we can create our text to send out; target, where we define our audience for text; and analyze, where we can report on the effectiveness of our communications. Starting with analyze, we're presented with a dashboard where we can see how many texts have been sent out, the delivery rate, and any costs associated with a defined period. Moving into the reports, we can either create these as one-time or recurring, and then filter down the information that we want to see within the report, whether it be an inbound or outbound SMSs, the date and time criteria, and then any particular columns of information that we're interested in looking at, including the body of the text and a way to track if the message has been read. The logs will show us a list of all inbound and outbound messages with their respective information, and export allows us to set up integrations to export various content to external resources such as FTP or SFTP host. Moving up to target, in the people tab, we can set up contacts that we're going to be communicating with regularly, either adding them individually or reporting from a CSV. Contact information is where we add the phone number of the person that we're going to be communicating with. Then we can add attributes such as name, location, and date of birth. There are a few attributes in the system as default. However, you can create custom attributes relevant to your business, such as account number or perhaps contract end dates, and then manage these in the configuration tab at the top. We then have the ability to create segments, and this allows us to group people based on the information we hold about them to target our communications more effectively. Internally, this could be used to contact staff only in the sales department, for example, or for customers, it could be targeting people in a particular city or by their age range. Finally, we can add tags to people, and again, this allows us to target our audience much more effectively. A great example of this is when a customer shows interest in a particular product category, let's say sport equipment, we can tag them with a sporting attribute. Then when we're running campaigns in the future, we can target these customers with promotions and special offers based on what interest they've shown. Similar to when you add a product to your wish list on an online store, we can collate that information to send relevant communications to that customer. The last section is communicate. This is where we're going to create our text messages to send out. We could do this in two ways: broadcast or flow. Broadcast allows us to simply send a message to our required audience, and flow allows us to create dynamic text workflows which will analyze responses and process them accordingly. Starting with broadcast, we can import our contacts from a CSV if we don't have them saved as people, or simply select the audience from the drop-down, either tags, people, or segments. Then choose who the sender will be. You can have multiple senders to use for different campaigns or for different areas of the business. And these can either be traditional text numbers, they could be short code numbers, or even alphanumeric. So when the recipient receives the text, it will display your business name rather than a number. Then we start typing our message in the content box. We can use the brackets to personalize the message by pulling information from the attributes we created earlier, for example, adding names or account numbers. In this case, we could say, hi, first name, your account number is account number, and that will pull that information from the attributes that we set up in the person. The way that you can track if a message has been read is by adding a URL in the text and tracking if the recipient clicks on that URL. Perhaps it could be an internal business communication you are sending out, and you say in the text, click this link to confirm you have read and understood. We can then see back in the reports how many times that link has been clicked by a recipient. Finally, we can schedule our communications to be sent at a later date if we don't want them to be sent immediately. Moving on to flows, this is where we can create dynamic communications where our recipients can respond, their message can be analysed and trigger actions accordingly. It could be to send another message or assign them an attribute. Looking at this reminder template, for example, we can see that we're going to target our audience based on a particular tag, and then we're going to send them an SMS saying, "Hi, this is a quick reminder for your upcoming appointment. Please reply yes to confirm or no to cancel it. Thank you." Based on their response, we're then going to evaluate that inbound text. If they respond with yes, we send them another message saying, "Thank you, look forward to seeing you, have a nice day." If they respond with no, we say, "Thank you for your answer, sorry to hear that. Feel free to call us to schedule another appointment." If they respond with any other word, it will say, "Sorry, we didn't understand. Please reply with yes or no," and then it will go back to evaluate that again. And if they don't respond within a defined period, could be a day or minutes, we can then have another action. In this case, it's to exit, but that could be to send them another message saying, "Hi, we hadn't heard from you in a while. Call us to confirm your appointment." Now, this is a fairly simple workflow, but these can be scaled up to handle your communication flows as your business requires. And a great example of how Welcome use this internally is to send out customer satisfaction surveys, where we ask a few questions where customers can respond with a score between 1 and 10. And we find we have far greater success sending these out via text than other methods, such as email or even post. That's the end of this session. I hope you've seen some benefit in utilizing business messaging. And if you'd like any further information, please contact us via the on-screen details. Thank you.